USD. We have short-term performance warnings in US dollar index, US dollar CHF. We have long-term bear pause warnings in nothing. Actually, by the way, this is not, I shouldn't be talking about this. It's not actually correct, so don't worry too much about it. I will be trying to fix this during the day. New line. US dollar index, DX. We can see the US dollar, there's been a bit of a flip back to safety. That's right. Going bridges or big signs that are halfway across the road. They often have cameras for seat belts and mobiles using on the back side of the bridge, or large signs across the road to take photos. Exactly. Big brother. And yeah, try and get them to come out and look after somebody who's just been burgled. It's not going to happen. Are you insured? New line. Okay, so the dollar index has probably come down into a good spot for a rally back up to 104.33. Stop should be at 101.12. New line. EUR USD, new line. Have a stop loss at 101.086. Look down towards 1.089 on the downside, new line. AUD USD. This got poleaxed, absolutely poleaxed on Friday. And that's probably why the, unclear if it saves any lives. Yeah, the phone and the seatbelt. The seatbelt is your own problem if you die, really. Just here, there's a big intersection with a highway, and every probably couple of months somebody dies there. But on Friday night, I spoke with a chap who's involved in the design of such things in roads, and he said that the government will only install an overpass or an overpass or whatever they call it, when the death rate gets to the cost of deaths gets to $100 million, and they value a death at $1 million each. Now, I don't know what period they do that in. Quite disturbing, new line. Anyway, the Aussie dollar has had the shizen kicked out of it. I've had suddenly a whole lot of US dollar bills coming in, and I can tell you my credit card has been really damaged with this low rates. Really damaged. Because they've been, the big bills for the year seem to come in at this time for the websites and all that sort of stuff, softwares that I use. Anyway, back up to 61.90 if the US dollar and this we do stabilize a bit. I can't see it happening, but anyway, Aussie dollar is cacti, new line. EUR USD, and again we saw a probe to near the old tops. I don't think we have any PHG trades on in currencies. Let's go have a look. I'm kind of proud of myself that we didn't need to, don't have too many positions on. Kind of annoyed myself in a few other ways, but so we were looking to get short the dollar index. That's a long way away. Let's cancel that. EUR USD, we were long. Stop is at 1.08717. And we're still in profit We can bring the stop loss up to 1.09 now. New line. NZD USD, we're looking to buy it 1/3 at 0.55. And that looks possible now. That was a really big corrective pattern, wasn't it? Still looks possible. And we also have an order in the Aussie dollar. 60 cents. Aussie, we were stopped, okay, 47.95 in the Aussie pound. I'm glad we had a stop on. Wow, we filled, stopped out, exclamation mark for a loss. 4-4-25. Of course, the recession is good in the long run to clean out all the problems that have been built up during the boom. And you know, really, it was just the people who bought the US stock market that did really well. And now they're getting punished for holding on, which is kind of sad. Question is whether they got out. New line. Let's move on. USD CHF, new line. A reasonable reversal, nothing like what we saw in the Aussie dollar though. So Canada probably will win against the Aussie dollar, etc. We've already covered the Kiwi, new line. USD CHF, a big hit the day before on the 3rd. That was interesting. So the Swiss franc really appreciated strongly against the US dollar, I guess, as they move their money back through the Caymans, which are the biggest bondholders in the world of US bondholders. Cayman Islands, and the money probably is vested in Switzerland through the back door. USD JPY, buy a break above 147.4, looking for 150. It's kind of trying to look like it's ending as well. Don't want to take that much positions. At the moment, the volatility is through the roof. We have to watch the dust settle. New line. Welcome to the Commodities Speed webinar for Monday, April 7th, 2025. Here is the disclaimer and warning. And remember, this is general advice only by Adesk Trading Proprietary Limited, a corporate authorized representative, AR 289519 of Alpha Securities, AFSL 330757, level 14, 5 Martin Place, Sydney. This is general advice and does not constitute financial product advice and does not take into account your investment objectives, financial situations, or particular needs. Prior to seeking advice from Adesk Trading Proprietary Limited, you should obtain and consider your broker's FSG and the product disclosure statement available from Alpha Securities and or your broker platform and your broker platform. Just remember, trading is risky and blah, blah, blah. New line, Baltic Dry Index. I still don't get why Baltic Dry Index, it's peeling off, but it's not throwing itself down towards 1305. It probably should get down there, but I just don't understand why the cost of shipping has been so unaffected by all the trade wars, because it's the major thing that happens in trade wars. There's either more shipping or less shipping. Chinese iron ore, as expected, this has been a little bit weaker. I thought it should be a lot more weaker. 98.85. is kind of the target area, new line. Coking coal, I would have thought there's a contract rollover here into the June contract. We should do this. I'll just do this as an experiment. Interesting, isn't it? Notice the volume doesn't accord, and it's a different chart. It's a very different chart to what we've been looking at. Very curious. Let me see if I can construct a better one than this one. Still makes no sense to me. Anyway, this is a different chart. So if we look at JM, and we'll look at JM M25 on the DCE, see what it's been doing. It certainly has been going down, so I got to change that contract. I'm going to buy a break above 1048. So it has been confirming weakness in Chinese iron ore. Just this has been not the best construction. New line. London nickel. This has been doing okay, looking for 16,775. New line. Crude oil. Crude oil. We've got it in the 50s finally. This is the area we wanted to see. Driving should be cheaper because I can't drive. So for 3 months, driving might be cheaper. Story of my life. Anyway, look for $58.37 or $56.73 area on the downside. New line. Heating oil, new line. Heating oil also clobbered. Drill, baby, drill, looking for $1.82. Now this is fairly normal, I think, for heating oil at this time of year to be weaker and below $2. And natural gas, I have a suspicion, will probably get down into, it'll probably be a bit sick too. So as far as I know, it's a bit of a byproduct of oil production as well. Look for $2.79. But in April, if I remember correctly, it does like to get down into the $1 area quite often. Here's April. Spent most of the time between $1 and $2 last year. So it's quite feasible this natural gas gets cheaper. New line, gold. In the last forecast, I've been saying gold probably could be getting itself into a position where we got to take profit up to that 31.25 area. It went further and made me a little bit more bullish, and now it's gotten whacked. As Charles said, once the margin calls happen, then gold tends to sell off at the end, and that seems to be what is happening. New line. Copper, new line. Copper, wow! You know how I've had that order at $3.81? Wow, 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 wow. Look at all that. All of this speculation, like in stocks and particularly Dr. Copper, has been given up in the space of 10 days, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days. Unbelievable. 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 Wow. It's so unbelievable, I can't believe it. New line. Silver, absolutely codswalloped. It's $27.15 area. Here's the area to look at. Silver. Now, silver and gold will be buffered by the pain of the Aussie dollar, in my opinion. Let's have a look at what the Aussie gold is. XAG AUD. It still copped a bit of a smacking, down from being $56 to being $47. So we could say that's 10-15% in terms of bottom smacked. Let's check some silver. It's still a pretty good price though. In the overall scheme of things, we look at monthly charts, see the monthlies knocked down. So really the Aussie dollar probably want to sell gold to, so this is silver, probably want to sell silver to $52, and yeah, $52 is probably the best idea. And we'll have a look at XAU versus the Aussie dollar. Forgive me, I'm a little bit jangled. This is the monthly gold price, is still going up. What happened to the price of gold you just bought? Kind of went down a bit. But look at this. This is the Aussie dollar. This is a daily chart in the Aussie dollar. Right now, it's still over $5,000 versus gold. So gold is still good in Aussie dollars. Go figure. Go figure. I wouldn't have thought that, but anyway. Wow. Has anyone seen how piss weak Albu looks in his in his commercials? He looks terrible. Badly dressed. Anyway, silver futures. Get back to silver futures priced in US dollars, looking for $26.40. A big, big comeback. New line. Cotton, new line. Cotton got dropped on. Let's see if we have any life in there. Oh, we did go to buy something. We bought market on open. Ooh. And the stock was market on open less 2. Suckeroonied or what? We hadn't bought copper for a while. That was a good suck in because it was on a 38.2% retracement. So here, the open was $5.13. This is a weekly sign. Daily, it was here. We bought it at $4.81.4. Presented. Market on open, -2 equals 4.794. That was filled. Entered 1.6. Luckily it was a little bit. Stopped out. Exclamation mark for a loss. Same day, which was 4th of the 4th, 2025. And we still wait for $3.81. Stop will be $3.73. Target will be to be advised. Potential. New line. Cocoa stop is at 82.60, which would be a profit if it was filled. Now there may be some slippage in that cotton and cocoa. We can bring the stop loss up to 82.79. And we took profit on 1/3 at market on open, which was good, 92.65. New line. Wheat, we wanted to buy a market on open or at $5.33. New line. Got filled at $5.33. And the market on open was $5.36 3/4. Sorry, 2/3. That's 6/8, 6/8 3/4. Stop was at $5.18. We didn't get stopped out on that. Yay, kind of. Entered all. 1/3 at least. New line. New line, new line. Who's a bit shell-shocked? I have to claim that status at the moment. We do need to look at bonds. 30-year bonds, they've been rallying. And they've been the sign that there's liquidations. Everybody's looking around for margin. Bonds are margin, looking for 124 and 7/32. So the margin gets called in. They go, put up something. They go, here's some bonds. The people who are underwater have got a bit of cash, give some bonds. Or go out and buy some bonds because that's part of their margining system. So it's a tail wagging dog. New line. Now I did cotton, we're okay. New line. Coffee. Coffee getting whacked. New line. Lumber. New line. Getting poleaxed. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Looking down to 540 on the downside. Wow. Sugar, new line. All I can say is wow. Sugar, nothing really happening in sugar. That might be a bit later. We see what it does. New line. Corn, new line. Now, I believe that these washouts are good. May hurt financially in a lot of different ways, but I believe they're good because we had a lot of excess. So what we need to do now is wait to see if what's his name? Berkshire Hathaway guy, Buffett. If Buffett starts getting offered deals to buy assets at distressed prices for people who've got themselves around the wrong way, or big organizations that have got themselves around wrong. Remember he bought Goldman Sachs at the bottom. I think he bought Citibank. I bought some Citibank at the bottom too, but I think I paid $1 for them, but I only kept it till I think $4, which is pretty annoying. Corn, nothing much to say. New line. Soybeans, new line. Soybeans finally getting a bit whacked, which is good. I don't mind that at all. New line, new line. Welcome to the Profit Hunters World Indices for Monday, 7th of April 2025. Here's the disclaimer and warning. And we don't just ignore the bullhorns warnings and bear paws warnings. They're not operative at the moment. For some reason, I have some issues. New line. Dow Jones Transportation Average got slapped down, got into a bit of support, or got close to some support on the monthly charts. But the real support is around these old tops from 2018. Notice it's broken the 2021 highs, but this one here would be around that 11,545. The next area would be around that 12,000 area, new line. Dow Jones Industrial Average, new line. Now I was thinking 40,000 might be good. It landed on below that and then just kept going and pretty well closed on its low. So I'm befuddled about what to do with the Dow. What I do see is the tops from 2022 coming into play over here at 36,000, 37,000 area, 36,000, really 37,000 area, 36,789 area as coming into play with very high volume on the downside. New line. S&P 500 cash index, new line. The other area on the monthlies here is 48.20 and 48.18. So these are probably the best areas to think it can get to over the next couple of days, where it should get some support. Notice that it's having a kiss and a cuddle, so this is okay in some ways, and it's coming back into where it could be fourth wave of lesser degree. New line. Weekly charts, Colin. 48.20. Ask covering rallies to 53.08 would be logical. New line. E-mini S&P. Yeah, the area around 46.41 would be okay for a try to see if it can hold, and probably over the next couple of days. As I said, there should be there are a lot of shorts out there now. New line. Daily charts look up to 51.91 on the top side. New line. And as I said, we are noticing that a lot of the countries, about 25% of countries, 50 out of the total around the world, have said to Trump, let's negotiate. How about we have no tariffs? Now, how that changes Trump's let's tariff everybody and not have income tax, how that changes what he's doing and how he'll pay down the budget deficit with no income tax and no tariffs is a complete other question. And we'll probably rush over to the other side of the room, like in the Batman 1960s high camp thing. 17,039 area is probably a good stop loss if you're trying to buy at 17,222 on the NASDAQ. Now the NASDAQ starts to become more buyable soon. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ on the monthly charts. And we see over here its top from 2021, high 16,000s, 17,000 area. That makes sense for it to get back down to test some support. The other area is around that, same area, really, 16,800 to 17,000 area. Still don't want to stick my oar in the water. New line volatility index, we can see it's gone ballistic. I wish we had bought some, but for some reason I just don't trust a lot of the market. It could be myself, but this whole market didn't feel trustworthy one way or the other. I don't know if anybody else has felt that, but one way or the other doesn't feel safe. New line. German DAX, new line. This is good. The German DAX shouldn't have been up there. I was arguing for ages about it and then got used to it. And now, let's see if we can find the same setups on the monthly charts as we do in the US stocks. And 2024 tops. This is probably the worst because now we see that Macron is, they call him, I don't know how to say it properly, but they're calling him Macronolian, like Napoleon with the Macropolian. If it's going to get back to the 2021 and 2023 highs, that's down towards 16,393. Europe is just too busy shooting itself in the foot while trying to shoot Trump. New line. Euro Stoxx 50. This is fascinating, isn't it? I didn't know this. The Euro Stoxx, its high was 27.25. Was it? No, that's a range. Its highs were around that 4,500, 4,600 and 4,400 here. So Europe really hasn't done well for the past, let's just say, almost 18 years. In 2021, it's gone for a run, but 46.82, 44.15, all these sort of areas give us the impression Europe really has fucked itself. Maybe it's too busy thinking about trannies. Just ridiculous. Seriously. New line. Whereas Italian MIB, let's have a look at that one. Oh, Italian MIB's come back down to the tops from wow. The excess. Italian MIB got to close to the 2007 top. So look for 32,323, 28,100. New line. Like I said, I expected this period to be bearish, but I didn't think it would be so late into the period because the bearish cycle finishes today/yesterday. New line. Shanghai A-shares index. For all of the tariffs on China, China is just immutable. Look at the monthly chart, not doing anything at all, not responding to Trump, not giving a rat's ass. Really, completely different. That probably will go scooting up. 36.25, look for 43.27 on the monthly charts. Daily charts, let's see, it's probably very quiet. Stop should be at 34.74, new line. Did you like that conclusion with gold? That's amazing. The Aussie gold price has not moved. Gold's very strong. Aussie is very weak. New line. And we're undergoing an election, so I think that's what the problem is. But yeah, again, this usually would mean it's going up. Pattern on the dailies as well for the Shanghai Asia Shares Index, new line. Hong Kong Hang Seng, a break above 23,721 looks towards 25,471. Japanese Nikkei really took a stick to itself over the last few weeks. Monthly charts, now we're talking. This is more of a big fourth wave. 28,893 is the ticket, new line. Australian Share Price Index Futures, SPI. $7,300, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath this morning. 71.69 is probably okay, and 72.78. That's what, down 20% or something from its highs up here. That's just staggering. And it's broken the old tops back from 2022. That's not healthy. Sorry about that. We are somewhat stumped. And there's the Aussie gold price. Look at it. Thou shalt not move. Thanks, everybody. I'm glad I've got some Bitcoin. Well, it could be worse. Aussie Bitcoin is not too bad. I'm glad I've got some gold stocks. Not happy about owning silver particularly, but I've owned that silver for a long time, so $4 US or something. So yeah. Okay. I don't think we have any PHG trades in the equities. Let's have a look. We had the volatility index order, which didn't ever get filled. Thanks, everybody. You have a good one. Miserable if you own some stocks, but a good one anyway. Cheers, mate.